Yes, sir. Start it up.
It's Mr. Rehnquist from Legal. It appears Miss Lorenz didn't reach out to LegalBytes or that umbrella guy prior to running the story. We advise running a correction.
Well, thank you for the call, Mr. Rehnquist, but I'm sure you'll understand I must respectfully decline.
Well, you could always run it as a stealth correction.
Write a tweet saying you reached out afterwards. And if you get any blowback, blame it all on a right-wing disinformation campaign like you normally do.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. I'm not going to pull out the ever-getting aging Taylor Lorenz meme in this video. She's just old, much older than she wishes she were, and I just like to remind her of that. She's, you know, just old. Anyway, also a terrible, terrible liar. Taylor Lorenz had gone after pro-Johnny YouTubers, and it is spectacularly backfired. So spectacularly so. She has now placed her entire account, her Twitter account, on private as she desperately attempts to spin the story into somehow she's the victim. Now, this is somebody that made wild accusations about YouTubers and their earnings and their motivations around covering a particular trial. And this is also someone that lied openly about contacting those YouTubers for comment and got busted lying, but by said YouTubers. And it's been a hilarious downward spiral ever since, again, she was caught lying. The thing is, Taylor Lorenz is not the exception. She's the rule. Taylor Lorenz is a liar aficionado, a professional. She is somebody whose entire career, in my opinion, is around disingenuously proposing stories and crafting narratives. But, you know, as she gets older, I think I've got a great sponsor for her, both her and my viewers. Check this out. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Keeps. 2 out of 3 guys will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time they're 35 years old. Keeps offers clinically proven, research-backed treatments to stop hair loss and improve hair growth. And with Keeps, you can get quality expert care without ever needing to visit a doctor's office or a pharmacy, plus 24-hour care and support. Remember, hair loss stops with Keeps. Get 50% off your first order by going to keeps.com/thequartering or click the link in the description. That's keeps.com/thequartering to save 50% off your first order. Hey, the key to preserving is getting on it now. Massive discount. Promo code Taylor Lorenz, although you don't. You just use the link in the description. But anyway, Washington Post now issues 2 different corrections in Taylor Lorenz article. Not 1, but 2 that had already been stealth edited. So a 3rd edit. The Washington Post had issued, now again, remember, this article was meant to, in my opinion, simp for AH, and in particular, and why I take it so personally, smear YouTubers who dared to succeed covering the case. Look, my channel didn't really turn into an AHJD channel. I covered it as much as anything else that was that big in the news. I still try to cover my regular everyday topics, but this is somebody who was mad that other outlets were successful. This is somebody who is a part of an establishment that is mad that people go to YouTubers to find out, you know, the story about things and the truth about things. And this is their attempt to smear, discredit and in some cases deplatform, demonetize people who do a better job than they do. We saw this with the very same author. This very same author showed up at family members' homes of the Libs of TikTok Twitter account. Why? To intimidate her, they tried to deplatform her. They tried to get the Twitter account banned. There's no mistake about it. They won't ever come out directly and say they want it banned, but what they do is they come out and say, boy, sheesh, these accounts are really making people feel unsafe. I got retweeted by somebody with Russian connections that was, geez, man, if I were Twitter, I wouldn't know what I would do. That's the kind of articles they do. And then they write emails to platforms like YouTube. When they say that they requested comment, they'll say, I noticed that you were harboring a misogynist YouTuber who's making zillions of dollars being mean to women. Care to comment? Here's the link to their channel. This is how channels get demonetized. It's done all the time by BuzzFeed, the Washington Post, and others. I've seen it happen in real time to friends of mine, like Carl Benjamin, for example, even Count Dankula. The Washington Post issued 2 lengthy corrections to an article by some notorious, quote, internet culture reporter Talar Lorenz. The piece, which has already been secretly edited after it was published Thursday, detailing how content creators made out big in the sensational JDAH trial, 2 YouTubers, LegalBytes and TheUmbrellaGuy, were singled out in the article. Lorenz citing Business Insider, claiming that LegalBytes earned $5,000 in 1 week by pivoting her content on YouTube channel to nonstop trial coverage. I would be willing to bet she made a lot more than $5,000, and she earned every penny of it. And I wish it were more. Every dollar that flows away from mainstream media to independent coverage is a win. TheUmbrellaGuy earned up to $80,000 last month, according to Social Blade, which again, Social Blade is at best a guess and has never been accurate. At least, source me, when I look at my earnings, Lord, it would be awesome if I made what Social Blade says I made. LegalBytes and TheUmbrellaGuy claim Lorenz never reached out to them prior to publication. They didn't just claim it, that turned out to be true. Lorenz also made a second error, wrongly attributing a statement to JD's rep, Adam Waldman. Although a note at the bottom of the article acknowledged the story was, quote, updated to clarify comments made during his testimony, the claim that Lorenz had reached out to YouTubers for comment was deleted without any acknowledgement. Very journalistic, much journalisming, Washington Post. After Fox News published its story about the stealth edit, this is why we always archive.is, my friends, archive.is, or there's other websites out there that do it. Maybe I should add an archiver to the coffeebrandcoffee.com website so that I can also offer useful tools along with my delicious coffee and cocoa and on Friday teas. I'll think about that. A previous version of the story inaccurately attributed Adam Waldman to a quote describing how he contacted some internet influencers. The quote has been removed, the Post wrote. The story also had been amended to note the Post attempt to reach LegalBytes and TheUmbrellaGuy for comment. Previous versions were omitted or inaccurately described these attempts. No. You lied. The Post later followed up with an even lengthier editor's note posted at the top of the article, although neither correction addressed who had edited the story after it were published. When Fox asked specifically whether Lorenz herself made the stealth edit, a spokesperson said, "That's not something we discuss on the record." That means that she did, in my opinion. In my opinion, that means she did, and that means that she's probably in trouble. I'm sure the right-wing media and cable news world spinning something up, Lorenz quipped on Twitter, downplaying the controversy. YouTubers slammed her article. This says I didn't respond to requested comments. I know I've gotten a lot of emails. This is LegalBytes saying, no, you never commented. She accused her of mischaracterizing all sorts of stuff. This is dumb. We saw that. We see a lot of people on Twitter. Dave Portnoy. I love how it's always somebody else's fault every time Taylor Lorenz gets caught lying or making up sources. And how about that quote from Washpo? They don't comment on their own lies. They only publish them. Must be nice. How about Tim Pool? Taylor Lorenz is a liar. Washpo had a conflict of interest covering the story as it was, which is true. Because the Washington Post was the original source of the now defamatory article. Oliver Darcy writes, in a series of tweets, Lorenz blames her editor for having inserted the error into her story and says she is the victim of a bad faith campaign. She wrote, last Thursday, an incorrect line was added to the story of mine before publishing it due to a miscommunication I had with an editor. I did not write that line, and I was not aware it was inserted. I asked for it to be removed right after the story went live. The line was a sentence saying that I reached out to YouTubers for comment on my story. The inclusion of the YouTubers was only in passing, citing another outlet's reporting. She writes, no, actually, this type of coverage is so irresponsible and dangerous. I told you they used that word, right? It's misrepresenting my words to amplify manufactured outrage campaign by right-wing media, radicalized influencers, which is driving a vicious harassment smear campaign against me. CNN is gleefully piling on. It's almost like us YouTubers knew what you were up to in the first place, and we weren't having it. And we knew that you were simping for AH, and that you were simultaneously attacking YouTubers because you fear us, because people trust YouTubers far more than any certified blue checkmark on the internet. You see TheUmbrellaGuy saying, Washington Post writer Taylor Lorenz is lying again about me. She wrote an article that she said she reached out to me for comment. She lied after I posted it on social media. She reached out. Even the Post agrees this was wrong and added a retraction. And here's the corrections. These corrections don't mean anything once they're already out. Glenn Greenwald writing, Taylor Lorenz got caught red-handed lying in her article. Not reckless errors, misquoting people, baseless claims about creator earnings, but lying by saying she reached out for comment to someone she never even contacted. What will it say if the Washington Post does nothing about this? And now, since then, Taylor Lorenz has put her Twitter account on protected because she can't handle the backlash. What happens is she picks a target every single time. It's like, without fail, pick a target, spread lies about them, try to get them deplatformed, in my opinion, or try to like smear their name in some way, shape, or form. That person pushes back, and then you immediately say, "Ah!" It's like the whole, punching a beehive and then being like, "Ugh, why are all these misogynistic bees stinging me?" It's a grift that is like so played out that people are starting to recognize it when it's happening. And I think Taylor Lorenz is probably just in the wrong field. She should probably, pursue a career in fiction or activism. Both have a pretty strong cross-section of similar skills. So I think she should probably get out of the reporting racket, as it were. I hope you enjoyed this video. Taylor Lorenz is a liar and old, and we'll talk to you again real soon.